I call Rotary Literacy Summit Chennai 2017 to order. Teacher support T. 12,138 teachers have been trained under Teacher Support Program. E-learning, can you guess how many? 9,900 centers we have started with e-learning. Adult literacy, one more time. 68,477 adults have got functional literacy because of Rotary's program. Child development. And under this, we have crossed the number 60,000 against the promise we had made of 1 lakh children back, thanks to partnership of Kailash Satyarthi. Happy schools. We have converted 1,420 schools into happy schools, and libraries 1,602.
Where else will you find 2,500 volunteers assemble for 3 days for a war against illiteracy? Meet this lady, Kanaklata Murmu, from the tribal areas of West Bengal. She had no formal education, which she wanted to. Some months back, her daughter came to her asking for help with some school homework, and she was frustrated. But this changed Kanaklata's life altogether. She had heard about women being trained in the community by attending adult literacy classes which were being conducted by Rotary clubs. She went and enrolled herself for the 3 months course, and just into the 3 months into the adult literacy classes that were designed by Rotary India Literacy Mission, she has emerged as one of the brightest students in her batch. She says, I went to the bank to open my account. They thought I was illiterate and handed me the stamp pad. I smiled, took out my pen and signed my name just to tell them I am not Anguta Chap anymore.
All here to support Rotary's mission of 100% literacy in India. Today, we have delegates from Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. We even have a strong supporter, a Rotarian from Seychelles, some from the United Kingdom and the USA. Needless to say, the largest contingent is from India.
Our foundation has been working with WHO, the Gates Foundation, and the governments to free the world of the dreaded disease of polio. And we are almost there. Like we provide scholarships today to hundreds of students every year to study the nuances of peacekeeping and peacemaking. We do many things in many places, and literacy is but one of the prime areas of our focus in our belief that a more literate world will be a more healthy and peaceful and prosperous and safer world as well.
India does face tremendous challenges in achieving the goal of universal literacy. You know what they are much better than I do. You know that barriers that have stood between the people of India and literacy for so many years. But India has always done something besides accepting these challenges. And you know what that is, as well as I do. India has Rotary. India has a Rotary that is growing stronger and more active with every passing year. India has a Rotary that is dedicated to seeing this country move forward. It has a Rotary that took on the challenge of eradicating polio in the country, something so many people said would never be done. It has Rotary that has looked at India's challenges and said, I think I can, I think I can. And it will be Rotary that one day will look at India with universal literacy and say, we knew we could.
E-learning, adult literacy, child development, and happy school. A very good program, a very good package through this teacher So teacher support is required, because unless he motivates, student will not be equipped. And he has to prepare many material and other things also. So training of teachers, trainers training is always important, and you are doing it. You are also doing child development and a happy school, e-libraries and normal libraries also. So these are very good, this is really a social work. Education के अच्छा दूसरा कोई काम नहीं जो समाधान दे, जो आनंद दे मन को. और therefore this on this occasion I can only say that Rotary and government, we want to work with all NGOs, we want to work with all voluntary organizations and community, because that is the way we can govern.
What we are talking about, what Rotary is talking about, what child defenders of right to education are talking about giving that kind of cultural capital which was denied to generations of children who are from non-literate families. If they do get this cultural capital, and if they are able to sort of come together through this cultural capital, they would be sitting on par with you and me on these empty chairs. Let's make it happen. They have been unequal because they were not given that kind of support. I am sure after 5 years, you will find some of your own alumni and graduates who came from the Rotary Literacy Mission who would come and sit here on the stage with us saying that we won, and we won because of this great Rotary Literacy Mission.
Rotary builds people of character. It goes out to the villages. It sits with the villagers, and it brings them opportunities, new ways of agriculture, new seeds that ensure that farmers get better crops and more income. Rotary is an amazing organization, and the same will happen with literacy. In a very short time, India will be literate, and you'll be celebrating it as you celebrated the demise of polio in this country.
From the experience working with children, I have learned different ways to deal with them and implementing the same. Me and my wife, Bhavani, are fortunate enough to be called as Daddy and Mummy by these kids is our greatest energy with which we dedicated ourselves to this service.
I'm sure with all our efforts, we will certainly see a new India within the next 5 years, and I wish all the governors and district literacy chairs who have been a part of this program for the fantastic work what they have been doing. And I thank and congratulate Chairman JB and his committee for putting up this wonderful summit in Chennai.
Over the last 2 years, Rotary and Innovale have together done a remarkable work in this program by training more than 15,000 teachers. 15,000 teachers. RILM's focus is on training topics like classroom management and lesson planning, developing critical thinking and problem-solving ability in students. Successful partnerships that were forged by us are Macmillan Education, Learning Links Foundation, and most importantly, the British Council.
It's always great to know what children think of teachers. They think of them as friends, as good listeners, people who help them think, people who transmit culture, values, ethics, and the list goes on. So if we work with teachers, as I always say, it is not one person you worked with. You have impacted children year on year, class by class. So all the investment and effort we put with teachers shows in multiple ways.
On World Literacy Day on the 8th of September last year, we and Unlearn, our strategic partner, entered into an MOU with the Rotary District 3230 to launch an English for Change project. The project's singular vision is to improve English language learning needs of underserved schools in Chennai and Kanchipuram. In Phase 1, the programme covers 25 schools, touching the lives of close to 15,000 upper primary level children and 150 teachers. And I would like to say thank you very, very much, Rotary, for allowing us to take that project on. I'm delighted to note that Rotary International has provided the much-needed scaffolding for this wonderful project by identifying the schools and facilitating an energetic volunteer network of mentors to ensure continuity and sustainability. I feel we are perfect partners. We can bring knowledge and experience from the UK and around the world. We can energise our network of staff, and you are that last mile of the pipe connecting us to the demand in communities across the south of India.
Everybody wants tell me how to get rich quick and without having to work hard. But in a lot of these countries, if you look at Singapore again as a wonderful example, teaching is a number one choice for a lot of young people who are leaving schools. The process of recruitment is also quite tough. It's not just based on their academic performance, but they have a very grueling interview process where you've got to prove you've got the attributes needed to be a teacher in the 21st century. And you also have to demonstrate what contributions you've made to the community.
And so thumbs up from e-learning students for this special Rotary gift, which moves these students to a brighter future. And hats off to you Rotarians for all the good you do in the world, especially in South Asia. And in closing, as a person who contracted polio at the age of 4, I express my tremendous appreciation for Rotary's monumental efforts in eradicating polio from the face of the earth, and am absolutely confident you will do the same for illiteracy.
Person can actually listen what is being written. So it gives a text-to-speech conversion, and it can happen in Indian accent, foreign accent, French accent, British accent, any accent. Okay. This is what the app is all about. Right. Now we have developed this app, and this app, we launched this app only about a year back. And in 1 year, we have taught 1 lakh people English.
Rotary itself is a great example of a collaborative social platform that brings people from all over the world together, not only for fellowship, but also to work on social problems. It is the outstanding work that the Rotary movement has done on polio, which has led to its worldwide eradication.
Race, nation, origin, color, gender, language, religion, opinion, wealth, birth, status, disability, or other characteristics. Rotary understands this and has waged a war on illiteracy and will ensure that every child gets their due. We have pledged to send back 100,000 children back to school, give them an opportunity to lead a life of dignity. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world.
I would like to quote past Secretary of State John Kerry here. He says, "If the cries of those who are enslaved around the world today were an earthquake, then the tremors would be felt in every single nation, on every single continent simultaneously." I would like every fellow Rotarian here to feel those hair-raising tremors. The girls need the good of the Rotary more than ever today.
All Rotarians will come forward to also support us in this initiative all over the country, raising multiple times food and funds to feed an increasing number of children, and this will lead to a great improvement in their health indicators and in the learning outcomes. We just heard the letter from the Prime Minister where he talks about learning outcomes, and I'm sure with improved health, better cognitive abilities, we will have better health outcomes, better learning outcomes, and we will help the children to achieve their full potential.
Today is the day, now is the moment. Look inward and look around you. Become more aware and resolve to play your part to stamp out stigma. Let us all aim to shift perceptions, but first, let's start with ours.
As of January 2017, Rotary Literacy Mission has entered into an agreement with 30 NGOs over 15 states of India to send 45,117 out of school and dropout children. The target is 100,000, 1 lakh. But that is not enough. We have to enlarge this goal, recognizing the success we made in polio. My friends, let me go one step further and say the child's name is not today. The child's name is now.
For this year, we are targeting to bring 100,000 adults under the purview of the Adult Literacy Program. In this endeavor, Rotary India Literacy Mission has entered into meaningful partnership with government, organizations working in the field of literacy and skill development, and of course the corporates to provide learning and growth opportunities to the adults who still remain in the darkness of illiteracy.
Closing the gap between poor and good quality education. RILM and the British Council have agreed to channel resources in the area of teachers training.
If Rotary, I believe, is a group which is a movement. It is not about individuals, it is not about whims, it is not about government projects. It's about a movement. How does the movement translate to changing lives? Changing lives of children, changing lives of adults.
And I personally believe that if sports is given that kind of focus, that kind of enthusiasm by someone like a Rotary, it actually can become a national agenda for us, which it should ideally be. I'm deeply grateful to Shekhar and Kalyan Banerjee for looking at sports as a part of their initiative and the Teach mission. And I sincerely hope that this mission gets the kind of fillip it deserves.
As a result of which one can stand on one's own feet.
That, my friends, sums up what we want the children to experience in their early education, in an environment which the children would like, and we term it in RILM as happy schools.
We are happy to launch a mission 10,000 books with the Rotary India Literacy Mission and Ratnanidhi with Mission Million Books.
I would like to share my favorite example. The event, 1968 Olympics, Mexico City. The marathon runner John Stephen Akwari from Tanzania. He finished the marathon 1 hour behind the winner. Bloody, bandaged, hobbling with difficulty and great pain. A newspaperman asked him, "Why did you finish? Why did you bother at all? Look at you." He said, "My country did not send me to Mexico City to start the race. They sent me to finish." Innovale has not joined the race merely to start it, merely to say that we are partners in service. We are here because we want to finish illiteracy in our country. We want that India become totally literate.
I believe that the Rotary India Literacy Mission will be the catalyst to do just that. And I'm so honored to be here and to be a part of that.
We are talking with the government of Nepal to make a policy decision to direct their office, District Education Office and School Management Board to ask the students of class 6 to 10 to educate their parents or family member, if any. For that purpose, Rotary will be responsible for providing all the books and stationery necessary for that, and the students will get 10 to 25 marks to be adjusted in their final examination.
What I learned today and for the last 2 days from these sessions from the Rotarians, I think I'm fascinated to adapt it, localize it, contextualize it. And I'm not a Rotarian, but for the last 2 days, the Rotarians, induced me in such a way. I think I'll go back and be a Rotarian and work with Reza Selim in these arenas for the cause of humanity.
I just wanted to add that Trustee Sushil Gupta said that the literacy rate in Pakistan was more than 60%. Rotary trustees and directors, in order to remember these volunteers who have laid down their life for a noble cause, have established Polio Plus Memorial Scholarship. These scholarships have come into effect from this year in Pakistan and Nigeria. Pakistan would be taking care of the students of Afghanistan also. 4 scholarships would be given for an MPH program, Master of Public Health, and it will be fully funded by Rotary.
So let's all join hands together for a better educated India, better educated country. काम करो ऐसा कि पहचान बन जाए, चलो ऐसे कि निशान बन जाए. जिंदगी तो सभी जी लेते हैं दोस्तों, जियो ऐसे कि मिसाल बन जाए.
We have to be very serious about how we can spend the money and how effectively we can spend the money for the cause of literacy. Yes, we know the 1 week of budget of the total military budget can save the world, but at the same time, it is our task to see the efficiency and the effectiveness, and we have to measure ourselves. Did we do well? And again, UNESCO will be very pleased to work with you, and then we'll be very pleased to enhance our collaboration in coming months and coming years.
So pleased and so honored and humbled to be here amongst you, and especially giving away the awards to various outstanding peoples and groups. And you have already raised your hands, 2 hands now,
Yes.
for 100 million campaign, and Shekharji, my friend and my brother, had already promised to be the strongest partners in India.